Hi friends, it's Lori with Main Street Gardener, and today I am so excited to be working on my first fall planting project. But before we get into that, I am going to clean out and empty my green stalk vertical garden. So I've used a green stalk garden for a couple years and I love it. This year, however, with the heat and where I put the garden, it wasn't as successful as in years past. However, I still have it filled with amazing soil that was all brand new. So it encouraged me to get out and clean out the containers so that we could use the soil today in our first project.
Okay, so I got the green stalk halfway emptied. I'm going to use this soil for my planting project, and then I'll go grab the rest of the soil. I really firmly believe that you can save soil in containers season to season. You just need to get out the roots and need to give it some nutrition, which we're going to do today. So I am doing a pre-fall project, and what this entails is buying plants on sale, half price, plants that look a little bit, maybe a little sketchy. So I love to get online plants from my friends down in North Carolina, Gardening with Creekside. I'm sure many of you watch them. So they are a grower nursery and they sell online, and it's great because I can get plants that I can't find here. Their prices are great, and they just had their kind of end of summer sale. So I was able to get some gorgeous annuals that I know, let me just show you, have incredible roots for half off. And these have already been trimmed up. What I'm going to do today, they are ready to get out of their containers. That's why they're a little stuck and not growing. So I have got a bunch of them. What I'm going to do, I have some large nursery containers, all different sizes. I also have some grow bags. So I love to use these when you have a project like this. They're great. They retain water, moisture, and you can just fill them with soil. So what I'm going to do today is I want to get these potted up, give them a great dose of fertilizer, and then I'm going to keep them in a, probably actually back here, in a sunny but a little bit protected space to let them start growing. I know these have been in a greenhouse. I want to give them a chance to revive. And my goal for these is probably in about 2 to 3 weeks, probably by the end of August. They're going to be gorgeous, and I'm going to be able to plant them and refresh some of my containers. And then these will last me through November. Most of these will last through a first light frost. So I'm going to get almost 2.5 months out of these plants, and I didn't spend that much money. So I'm really excited about it. Now you can visit your big box stores, you can visit your local nurseries. In August, they are ready to get these plants out the door. So it's a great time to pick up some bargains. All right, so let me tell you about the plants that I got today. So I have the Proven Winners Color Blaze Albrito. That's going to be just gorgeous. So I have a couple of those. I have the Accent Plum Dandy. I love the color on that. The red, I think it's going to be stunning. And this is one of those kind of filler or trailing plants. This tall one is the Color Blaze Wicked Hot. Look at that color. When this fills out, it's going to be stunning. And let me show you guys one thing to look for. When you're buying plants like this, you want to see that there is new growth. So let me make sure the camera's getting it. See all this new growth coming out? I could actually cut these back even further today, and I probably will because there's all this branching. So it's a healthy plant. We know when we look at the roots, it's amazing. So I'm going to get, probably within 2 weeks, I'll get 2.5 to 3 months worth out of these plants. Now, if you grow coleus, these are almost all coleuses. If you grow them at home, you can also cut them and put them in water and let them root. I have some in the floral studio. I'll try to show them to you at the end. All right, and then I have this really dark one. This is the Newly Noir. Now, it looks a little bit better, but again, look at all this amazing growth at the bottom. So even if I cut it to let it just fill out, it's just going to be stunning. So I'm probably going to come in today and cut these a little bit more so they really bush out. So my trick is don't leave them in these cans. They are not going to do well for you. So find some soil, use some old pots, get some inexpensive potting soil, add some fertilizer. So today I'm competing with the cicadas, by the way, guys. So if it's a little muffled, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to actually use the Proven Winners slow release fertilizer, and then I am going to give them a dose of liquid fertilizer. I'm going to use this because I have it and I know when the heat comes in, it's going to help really feed the roots. I wouldn't normally use it this time of year, but I think for these plants, I want to. I have some fall garden events and I love fall. I want the garden to be beautiful as long as it will last until our first frost. So I think it was an inexpensive way. I spent about $75 on everything, and I think they're going to be beautiful. So let's get to planting. I didn't have to spend any money on soil, and I'm not using any fancy containers. So we're just going to fill these up. I'm going to put 1 to 2 in each container, depending on the size of my container. And I am going to try using some of the grow bags. All right, so let's just get started. Now there are some old roots in this soil. I am not worried about it. It is not going to hurt these plants at all. These are just temporary. So I'm just going to plant them all up, and then I'm going to come through and do trimming, and of course we'll get them fertilized. There's number 1. So I absolutely love fall, probably as much as I love spring. So I think this is just really going to be fun, and it's going to be great because I can just add these fall colors and the pumpkins. I'm already thinking about making a wreath. Let me know if you love fall and what part of it you love the most. I used to do fall birthday parties for my kids and fall friend parties, and you know, just the whole joy of the season and just the colors and the cool weather, the pumpkin spice. But I usually don't start probably September. I kind of get started usually right before the 1st of October is when I kind of put my fall on. So it only lasts a couple months, mainly through Thanksgiving, but I just love it. We usually go to the beach in September, and so when I get back from there, I feel like I've put a kind of bow on summer, and I am ready for fall. I just love it. So this container, I think I'm going to squeeze 2 of these in. I think that will still be plenty for them to get going. And again, some of these have had a good haircut. Some I'm going to cut again. So I'll show you what I do. I'll give this guy some extra juice. So let me know what fall festivities do you do? Do you decorate your containers in your house? And I love to get all the colorful pumpkins and do a display in my front. Our front garden, I haven't shown it to you because it needs a complete overhaul. We need to have the front wood. It's the original wood trim to the house. We need to have that painted. And we really need to do something else with our front garden bed. We face the main Street Road, and it just needs some freshening up. So we'll probably be working on that as the season cools off, and then adding some fall fun to it. All right, I've just got a few more. Let's get them done. So now I'm going to use a grow bag. And again, if you haven't used these, they work amazing. I've started dahlias in them. I use them for plants that maybe I'm going to transplant, but I'm not ready to yet. So they're great. I'm just going to fill this up with soil. And what's great is you don't have to fill it all the way. Some of these plants are tall. So I have filled it probably about half or 3/4. And I can probably fit 3 in here. Just breaking up the roots a little bit to get it ready to go. And I could even fold this down. So let's do that. I think I'm going to fold these down because I don't want to fill them with soil. That's going to work perfect. That's great. All right, you guys, look at all these gorgeous plants. I'm really excited. I know they're not super gorgeous right now, but they are going to be, I promise. So I am going to get these moved up to an area that's a little shady, but has some sunshine, but near the water where I can keep them watered. Probably this weekend, I'll give them a dose of liquid fertilizer as well. But I do want to go get my pruners and just give a few of them a couple extra snips to ensure their growth. Now, one thing that I should have said was you only want to reuse your soil if you haven't had any kind of insect pressure. So no spider mites, aphids, anything that would harm your new plants. So you probably already know that, but just a reminder, if I had diseased or damaged or bug infested soil, I would trash it. But as you could see, this soil's beautiful, and it had only been used for a few months. So I'm glad I'm getting to recycle it. When I plant these in containers, I will also use some of this soil because again, these are only going to live for 2 to 3 months from today. And let me get my clippers first. I'm going to show you how I would cut these just a little bit. Okay, so I think these Newly Noir are a good example. And there is new growth down here and new growth right there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it down so that it starts to bush out some more. Now, right here where it's been cut, there is already new growth. There's not new growth on this stem. I'm going to take that off. And then on this guy, you can already see so much new growth. There's new growth here. There's new growth everywhere. So I'm just going to check this top. And I'm just going to cut back a few more pieces just to help it really, really pop out. Now that it is here, there's so much new growth there. All right, and for this one, I'm going to leave this big stem. I could cut it, but there is some new growth on each corner, so I'm going to leave that. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go pretty deep. I know it's painful, but I promise in a few weeks we're going to have much bushier plant. There we go. And more beautiful color. That will just rejuvenate it. This one's already been cut. It's got so much new growth. Look at all this new growth. I'm going to go ahead and leave that. And I think the rest look really good. They had already been cut and they're already starting to come back out. All right, so let's load these up. I'm going to take them up to the front and I'm going to give them just a little bit more water, and we'll get them where they can start growing. And then I'm going to finish my chores with the green stalk. So for now, I'm going to just sit them in this area. Right now it's in full sun, but it gets a lot of shade as well. I think they will be protected, but still get the sunshine they need to grow, and I can monitor them with the water. So I think this is a perfect spot. When you get fresh annuals that have been in a greenhouse, I have learned my lesson. You don't want to put them out until they're acclimated. They're just not ready for the hot sunshine. So let's go up to the floral studio. I want to show you the cuttings that I have. In case you're growing coleus, now is the time. It's a great time to do some cuttings and let them grow out, and then you'll have some new plants. We haven't been in my floral studio in a while. It's so cool in here. I just have I have 5 windows. I don't have any ceiling windows, and I do wish that I had a vent. I may try to get one added this winter, but because it's shaded, it just stays so cool in here, which is nice. And sometimes I bring in a fan. But here's my little jar of coleus. Now, I stuck a bunch in here, and I probably need to add more water. Let's just check on them. So this is, yeah, no roots yet, but I stuck them in here, and yeah, I definitely need to get some more water. It's just been a couple days. Whoops, I'm not expecting any roots yet. Yeah, no roots. But all you have to do is take a cutting, take off the bottom leaves, and you want to make sure you have a leaf node. So you can see right there a little leaf node, and that's where you'll get some roots that will come out. So I'm just letting them get their roots started. It doesn't matter how many are in a container. I just fit what I could. I've got them in a windowsill, so they do get some sunlight, not too much. And as you can see, I need to get them some more water today. So I'll go do that. All right, so it feels good to get this checked off my list. I was able to get the green stalk all emptied. It is all stacked over here in the corner, so I will take it back into our storage area. What's great about the green stalk is it does all stack together, and you can just then store it until you're ready to use it again. So that is great. It also helps me kind of clean up this space. I need to blow, I need to take the dirt to the back, but otherwise, and all my clippings to the compost. But it was great to get this done. And it was great to get all those fall plants planted. I can see them right over there, and they are looking great. I'm just gonna keep watering them, keep a watch on them, and they're gonna grow. And in a couple weeks, you'll see me in a video planting them out. I have some ideas of where I want to put them. So that's gonna do it for today. I've got lots of other projects coming up that I'm working on, and I'm gonna have a big project in this area of the garden to share with you, probably in a couple days or a week or so. So I'll see you then. Bye, everybody.